We continue with Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. So we finished this volume. It's number 2. And I think it would be beneficial to see this appendix. So Appendix A, Shiurim, Halachic measurement equivalence. Right? Okay. So it says, the following chart describe the Halachic measurement that are mentioned in the course of the volume 1 of the Kitzur, in terms of their current equivalents. 3 of commonly held determinations regarding this equivalent are presented. Those of Rav Chaim Noeh. I'm not sure exactly where he lived, but I think he's the most lenient. Chaim Noeh. Rav Moshe Feinstein and Chazanish. Okay, Avraham Yeshayahu Karelitz. Chazanish is Rav Avraham Yeshayahu Karelitz. Each of these measurements is presented in both English and metric units and commentaries. So in many instances, the measurements have been rounded to the 1 decimal place. Okay, right. Don't go crazy. Okay. Okay, so three opinion. Chaim Noeh, Rav Moshe Feinstein, and Chazanish. Okay. Regarding the measurement that are used by Kitzur itself, see above and Kelalim definition terms. Okay. Where Amma is measured approximately 1 Bahamian cubit, or 3/4 of Venice cubit. In modern terms, it is approximately 23 inches. So when we say Amma, right, it's approximately like 2 feet, less than 2 feet, or 58 centimeters. Okay. So that the measurement is larger than the largest measured set forth in the chart below. Okay, so meaning according to Kitzur. Said below that is Chazanish. So Chazanish is the most stricter. Moshe Feinstein is in the middle, and Chaim Noeh is the most lenient. Okay. Just one second. In the contrast, regarding the measurement of volume, Kitzur writes to generally follow the measurement of 1/2 of the average egg, 0.8 ounce. Right, so which is we don't go by that. Very interesting. So it's 25 cc, right? That's I think even more lenient the opinion I saw, but we're going to see. Okay. For kizayis, right? So that's for kizayis. So 0.8 ounces. Okay, which is smaller than the smallest measurement in the chart below. Okay. Just one second. So see Sharet Teshuvah, which states that one should follow a stringent view when fulfilling biblical obligation. So meaning when we go for example measurement of food on Pesach, so we try to go the most stricter opinion. Okay. So we start, one second, where is number 3? Okay, so there is a commentary about Chazanish. So let's see, right away. The measurement of Chazanish set out in this chart are based on the measurement of the 10 tefachim being equivalent of 96.2 centimeters or 37.9 inches. So those are measurement of length. Okay, Rav Yaakov Israel Kamenetsky, I think. Rav Yaakov Israel. It's Rav Chaim's father, I think. Steitler. Printed an addendum to his sefer, Shiurim Shel Torah. Right, from the measurement, from this measurement, the rest of the measurement are extrapolated. One tefach is equal to 9.62 centimeters, 3.8 inches. I mean that's how we always describe. I always say 3.5 inches, right? So it's I think it's like accepted. It should be noted, however, that when dealing with biblical obligation, Chazon Ish advised using more stringent measures. Okay. Thus, when stringency demands a larger measurement, such as with regard to the minimum length of tzitzis, right? So that's very important. So meaning the length of tzitzis, like included, I think, the nuts. Nuts, right? And meaning if the strings were severed, and I had the talus like that, like it was very very old talus, like from many years ago, and then I noticed that then a few tzitzis like severed, like very, very short, right? So I had to cut them off and put in a gniza. Okay, so that's for sure. Length of tzitzis is a biblical. Then all of the measurements should be based on a larger 2.5 centimeters, 0.98 inches thumb breadth. So thumb breadth is meaning the thumb like in the widest part. Okay. So this thumb breadth is being the basic unit measurement to see above. Okay. According to Tefach, so we have Tefach is a fist. Accordingly, one Tefach is equal to 10 centimeters, 3.9 inches. Okay. And one Amma will equal to 60 centimeters, 23.6 inches. Okay. Conversely, when a stringent approach would demand a smaller measurement, again, with regard to biblical requirement, such as when measuring the maximum distance from the hole of tzitzis to the corner of the garment, it has been recommended that one should take even smaller system measurement, that of Rabbi Chaim Noeh, in the chart. Okay, into account. Okay, so let's try to understand. On one hand, when the length of tzitzis, right, like all of the corners, right, and the length, so all together we go by strictly by Chazon Ish. But on another hand, this tzitzis must be in the corner, right? So we have we learn in Shulchan Aruch. So what does it mean in the corner? So if I do like some high above, is it corner or not corner? So it's very interesting. So I don't remember, like I think it's like two finger breadths or something, or one. I'm measuring mine. No, it's more than one for sure. Maybe two. So I mean that's so in this case he said since like there is a minimum amount and maximum amount. So in this case we should go like take into consideration this Rav Chaim Noeh chart. Okay. For further discussion of the measurement of Chazon Ish as they apply to various measurement and the relation different mitzvahs, see Shiroi HaMitzvahs by Yaakov Israel Kamenetsky. Okay. So we go back and try to see all the measurements that we have. So first one is a barley corn. So why do we care about barley corn? So barley corn we need to know like the required width of tefillin straps. Okay. I'm not sure how many, but how many of barley corn. I mean, they are standard, but if you look at that tefillin straps, all people have the same, right? So that's the standard. Okay, so barley corn it's 0.4 inches, right? 10 millimeters, 0.4 inches, right? It's from Chaim Noeh. Rabbi Moshe Feinstein did not say anything, and Chazon Ish 0.44 inches, 11 millimeters. So the difference is not big. Okay. It's not big. Okay, so next measurement that we have thumb breadth. Rav Chaim Noeh 0.8 inches, 2 centimeters. Rav Moshe Feinstein 0.9 inches, 2.3 centimeters. And Chazanish, okay, the biggest, it's 0.95 inches, 2.4 centimeters. Right, okay. So I'm not going to read that's, I think it's, let's just summarize. So then you have a thumb joint. So what do you learn from thumb joint? The measurement appears here from Rav Chaim Noeh and Chazanish, and they estimate measurements. Both are recommended using 1.6 inches, 4 centimeters, but agree that 1.4 may actually be sufficient. So I'm not sure how what this use thumb breadth thumb point. I'm not sure. Okay. So then 3 thumb breadths, 1 tefach thumb breadth, 1 tefach equal to 4 thumb breadths. So one fist is equal to 4 to 4. I'm not sure how. To 4. Right. To 4 thumb breadths. 2 tefachim equal to 8 thumb breadths. 3 tefachim to 12. 4. Okay. So and then 3/4 of amma. I'm not sure where is the use. 3/4 of amma and amma. So amma is so the most lenient is again. So it's now it's practical. Practical meaning for us. Rav Chaim Noeh says 18.9 inches. Right, it's 48 centimeters, and Rav Moshe finds in 21.3 inches. Right, so 54 centimeters. So it's a huge difference. And Rav Chaim and Chazanish 22.7 inches. Okay. So another measurement is 10 tefachim. So 10 tefachim, we know it's for separations, like for mechitza or something, right? So 10 tefachim, it's considered to be like maybe eruv, right? It's the separate domain. 4 amos. So 10 tefachim is what? Rav Chaim Noeh 31.5 inches. It's 2.6 feet or 80 centimeters. Rav Moshe Feinstein said that 35.4 inches, 3 feet, 90 centimeters. Chazanish 37.9 centimeters. So you see huge difference, huge. And 4 amos. So 4 amos is our private space, right? It's when it says that a person should not walk 4 amos without a head covering. We have a clip about it, right? Or preferably not to walk 4 amos when we just wake up in the morning. Okay. So okay, continue. So it's 4 amos is 6.3 feet. So I always said it's 7. Okay, I say, why would I say 7? It's 7. It's actually from Moshe Feinstein. So he said 7 feet 1 inch. 7 feet 1 inch. Okay. Right. It's 2.2 meters, and Chazanish says it's 7.6 feet. Okay. Right. Is 70. Okay. Okay, it's 2.3 meters. So that's how like our private space. Okay, mil. So very often we have mil. So it's 0.6 miles, 0.96 kilometers. So mil is we used mil is a time that it takes person to walk 18 minutes, and 4 mils is here's the 72 minutes, 1 parasa. Okay, so it's 2.4 miles and 3.84 kilometers. Okay, it's Chaim Noeh and Rav Moshe Feinstein. So in most of the time we would follow Moshe Feinstein. So he says it's 2.86 mile. Okay. Volume of quarter log, volume of an olive. Oh, so that's okay. So here's our No. Volume of the quarter log is revi'is. No, it's very important. So revi'is, right? That's how much we have to drink on kiddush. So our kiddush cup must be revi'is. So the most lenient opinion of Chaim Noeh is 2.9 fluent ounces. On Friday night, as we said, it's actually biblical. So we're trying to do as strict as possible, right? Strict as possible meaning Chazon Ish. So Chazon Ish said it's 5.1 ounce, so it's 150 cc, right? According to Rav Chaim Noeh, it's 86.4 cc. According to Moshe Feinstein, that's all. It's from 3 to 4.4 ounces. Right, right. So he does not give exact measurement from 3 to 4. It's huge difference, meaning it's from 89 to 130 cc. Okay, so huge difference. So we go by something in the middle, right? So let's see the commentary. Why he gives the range instead of the specific number. The source of this measurement, is Rabbi David Feinstein. I think he passed. Zatzal. I think he passed. The larger measurement is to be used for the biblical obligation. Okay. While the smaller measurement is rely upon rabbinic obligation. So meaning, okay, got it. So meaning for biblical obligation, it's 4.4. Meaning if you do kiddush on Friday night, or you drink 4 cups of wine on Pesach, right? So that's you would do 4.4. But others, what is others? Others is for example. Shabbos day kiddush, right? It's rabbinical. So in case of the need, you can do only 3 ounces. So right. So the difference is huge, especially if somebody cannot tolerate it. It's too much. So we can rely always on this more lenient opinion. So it does not cancel completely, but just rely on lenient opinion. So next line is Aleph. Volume over Aleph, meaning kizayis. So Rav Chaim Noeh gives very, very lenient opinion from 6.1, from 0.6 to 1 ounce, to 1 fluent ounce. Yeah, so it would be a problem. So according to meaning what? According to him, and actually to Moshe Feinstein as well. So he says that this kizah is from 0.7 to 1 ounce. So meaning if we go in grams, it's from 20 to 29.6 grams. So which is a big difference. So meaning what? So why do we care? We care if a person wants to eat just a little bit, right? And not say the blessing. So make sure that you're below the most lenient opinion, meaning that then 0.6. But if you want to say the blessing, so make sure that you ate at least 1 ounce. That's what it means. Otherwise, you would not be able to pronounce the Hashem's name because it might be pronounced his name in vain. Okay, so here we go. Commentary. The smaller measurement may be used for the rabbinic obligations, and larger measurement should be followed when fulfilling biblical obligation. The one fluid ounce, 28.8 cc measure recorded for the biblical kizayis is actually slightly larger than actual calculation of Rav Chaim Noeh. Okay. So he said that Rav Chaim Noeh said from 17.3 to 28.8 cc. Okay. 1 second. However, he advises that when fulfilling a mitzvah, that call for eating kizayis, one should eat the larger amount on account of any food that remains lodged in the mouth and then swallowed, and not swallowed. I'm not sure. Okay. Oh, meaning it's it's still in the mouth between the teeth or something. I don't know. Okay, so that's why he said eat a little more, in order to arrive in this amount. Okay. And Rabbi Moshe Feinstein, again, that's very important to us. Kizais, he says, from 0.7 to 1. And commentaries say the larger measurement, right, should be used for biblical obligation, while the smaller measurement rely on rabbinic obligation. Right, okay. So biblical, the biblical meaning, if you want to, a rabbinic obligation on an Azgan, a rabbinic obligation is to say the blessing after that. Right, after the food. So I guess if you ate 0.7 ounce, right, so you would need to say the blessing afterwards. That's rabbinical. And Chazanish, so it's 1.5 fluid ounces. So here's the difference, not so huge. Okay. So in commentary say this measurement 1.5 fluid ounce of 33.3 cc is based on determination of the Chazanish of an average size of our current eggs, and as 1.7 ounce, right, 50 cc. The measurement of kizais is 2/3 of the volume of an egg, right? So okay, so they how do they measure? They put an egg in a container full of water and see and put this egg in there and see how much water would be displaced by this egg. Okay, and then from this measurement they take 2/3, and you get this kizais. Very interesting. According to Mishnah Brura, however, when fulfilling biblical obligation, one should measure kizais as equivalent to the current size of one egg. This was yield the measurement 1.7 fluid ounce, 54 cc for kizais. See also kelalim, and that's what we actually say, and that's what Shulchan Aruch says, that in order for you to say birchas hamazon after I ate, it's proper to eat not kizais, but kibeitza. So kibeitza is double kizais. So that's what we call So it's 50 cc. Okay, no problem. But as we said before, after the fact, if somebody ate only one kizais, Rav Moshe Feinstein Zatzal said that you can say birchas hamazon. Okay. So now we're going to Zemanim, right? Division of Halachic times throughout the day, right? So many people get confused and they ask me what is what. I think now in this application, I saw that they did some explanation. If you point the finger, if you press, they give you the pop-up box and show you what is what. Okay, so Zmanim, division of Halachic times throughout the day. The purpose of this appendix is to provide the outline of the various Halachic times commonly applicable over the course of the standard day. The halachas involved determining these time periods are extremely complex, both from halachic and technical standpoints. A serious treatment of these halachas would require a in-depth study. Okay, we just need basics. This appendix provides list of zmanim accompanied by the general information of the terms and some of halachas that apply during this time. So that's what we need. We need that basic explanation, and we need some examples. Right? That's what we're here for. Various opinions regarding some of the zmanim are noted, but by no means we all the opinions on any individual topic addressed. Okay, so meaning they say don't tell us, don't ask us what to do. So we give you just information, and you see in our application, I think if you ask them to display three opinions, they're going to display three opinions, I think. So, but by default they display only two. Okay, no problem. So commentaries say this appendix should be therefore not be used to compute the start and the end of any of the daily Zemanim. Okay, one can consult with any reliable calendars that are available, which provide the detailed Halachic times for each day and location. Okay, so but still we need to know all of these things because all of this terminology constantly using Halacha. And it says many of Zemanim are listed here as a certain number of hours into the day. Certain number of hours into the okay. For example, the latest time, the time they recite the Shema, is 3 hours into the day. So, like as we know, in a day we have 12 hours, and in 3 hours into the day, of course, it's the seasonal hours, right? You have to say up to that 3 hours. You have to say the Shema. To pray Shachar is 4 hours. So, I mean, we explained it before, but it's very nice to review. So, Shema, 3 hours, up to 3 hours of the day. Hashachar is 4 hours. Unless otherwise noted, these do not refer to the set hours of 60 minutes, but hours in Talmudic system, seasonal hours. Sha'os Zemanim, Zemaniyos. Okay. Sha'os, seasonal hours. In this system, the night and the day divided in 12 equal segments, regardless of the length of each particular day. Right? So, of course, we're going to get to the definition when day begins and day ends. Right? So after we learn that, so we divide day and night in the day 24 hours in 2 parts, day and night, and then divide whatever is left, for example, day, into 12 equal units. Okay. In this system, night and the day are divided into 12 equal segments. I mean, segments, regardless of the length of the particular day. So, but okay, each of these segments is referred as an hour. So, I mean, hours do not be confused with a regular 60 minutes hour, right? It's seasonal hour. Thus, in the winter, when there are less than 12 standard daytime hours, each seasonal hour is shorter than 60 minutes, right? Meaning day hour. Okay. Conversely, in a summer, when there are more than 12 standard daylight hours, standard daylight hours meaning hours of 60 minutes, each seasonal hours is longer than 60 minutes, right? It could be 75 minutes, right? And in the winter, it could be 46 minutes, right? Hour. Thus, the 3 hours of the latest Shema actually represents a fourth of any given day. So, right, 12 by 3 is 4, right? A fourth, 1/4 of the given day. The 4 hour for the Shachar represent a third. Okay, so I mean that's how they calculate. There is a controversy as to how they measure the length of the day that is used on a basis of calculation. So now we're going to the main important points, right? So first, Magen Avraham maintains that the day measure from daybreak, Alos Hashachar. So daybreak is when it's still light. So from daybreak until the sunrise is an hour. I mean, the plus minus, right? So it's very long time basically. So daybreak. So again, Magen Avraham measures the day from Alos Hashachar, daybreak, until the nightfall. Says Hakachavim. Meaning what? So this is the longest part, right? Meaning from a daybreak and until the nightfall, meaning until the 3 stars. I think it's medium stars, so like it's very late. Okay, that's the day. Gra, however, maintains that the day begins at the sunrise and ends at the sunset. So and from here we see like. What is the right time to pray mincha? So and that's why is learning Shulchan Aruch. If it's very close to sunset and there is still no minyan, Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, and I think Mishnah Berurah says exactly the same. You have to start praying by yourself better than wait for a minyan and pray with a minyan. That's how important. Why? Because as what we just said, Gra said that Gra is Vilna Gaon, right? Gra said that day begins as a sunrise, so it's very late, right? And end at sunset. And right, so it's so meaning this grass measurement, you can see the late Shacharis and later Shema is much later than Magen Avraham. So Magen Avraham, I mean, of course, much stricter in this case because he started early and finished later. Okay. So again, Gra however maintains that the day begins sunrise and ends of sunset. Commentary. Shvuas Eliyahu, Brachas 1 second. See the Kitzur in different places where he follows the opinion of Magen Avraham. See also here he appears to follow opinion of Gra. Kitzur 69 2. Okay. Okay. So when you check your application or my Zemanim, that's what we recommend. So you'll see Magen Avraham times and Gra different times. Each seasonal hours will be shorter according to the calculation of Gra, right? Shorter than according to that of Magen Avraham because Gra starts later and finish earlier, right? So hour of course shorter. Just one second. According to that of Magen Avraham, since for the purpose of this calculation, Gra consider day start at sunrise, which is after daybreak, right, and end with ends with a sunset, which is earlier than nightfall, right? So okay. Despite this, the 3 hours of Shema will always end earlier, according to Magen Avraham. And since it's biblical, so everybody is trying to say Kriya Shema according to Magen Avraham, right? Since according to this calculation, we do not begin to count these hours from the sunrise, but from much earlier in time at daybreak, right? So I think most of the people are trying to go by Magen Avraham, the way I understand. But Balatanya, I think he goes like a Gra, I think, if I remember correctly. Okay, so we finish with that, meaning the day again divided in 12 parts, and the definition of the day, 2 opinion, Magen Avraham from a daybreak until 3 stars. And Gra is from the sunrise until sunset. So you see if you divide this part this part of the day by 12, it's the amount of minutes is going to be different, as we understand. Okay, so next one, number 2, Alos Hashachar, Amud Hashachar, daybreak. So we start with Halachic application. One may not eat or involve himself in a personal endeavors from daybreak until he prays Shacharis. See Kitzur Siman 8. One who prays Shacharis as early as Alos Hashachar, although it is not optimum time, has fulfilled his obligation. So we need to know this thing because when I worked in the office a long time ago, it looks like, right? So I had to rely on these times, right? Because I had to get there for a morning support. Morning support was 8 a.m. I think, and I had to take 3 trains and walk 70 minutes to one of them. So it's like in between trains, between the second and third train. Right? So it was so I had to rely on the most lenient opinion, Meaning what? That technically it's not proper to start because of other opinions, but if needed, a person can start praying Alos Hashachars. Alos Hashachar. Okay. Meaning that daybreak. Okay. So again, and since technically it's time when you're allowed to pray. It's even though it's not preferable, but it doesn't matter. You can pray if you want to, if you need to, right? Right. A person is forbidden to take care of this person's endeavors, right? As we learn in the beginning of the Kitzur, right? We said a person is not allowed to take care of his personal needs until like business needs, right? Business affairs, until he prays first. Okay. So that's very important. Okay. So halachic application we explain. Okay. Next one, time. Alos Hashachar occurs sometime before the sunrise, when light begins to appear on the horizon. So I mean, unless you live somewhere like not in a city, somewhere on a farm or something, right? You will see. But when you see in a city, when you live in a city, you have all this light poles. It's hard to see anything. Okay. So again, Alos Hashachar occurs sometime before sunrise, when the light begins to appear on horizon. Mishnah Berurah cites two opinions regarding exactly when these take place. According to some authorities, Alos Hashachar occurs when the first light of dawn appears on the eastern horizon. Okay. Others hold that Alos Hashachar occurs a bit later, when the light spread across the entire eastern horizon. So first opinion is much earlier, when the first light appears, and the second opinion when light spreads about eastern horizon. I think in my Zman, if you check, I think it's how many degrees above the horizon, right? I don't remember what it says there. I mean, but what is it? 13. I mean, it depends on or where you live, actually, right? So very, very interesting. That's why there are few opinions. Okay. The Gemara Pesachim 94a writes that the average person walk 4 meal from Alos Hashachar until the later occurrence of the sunrise. Okay. So very interesting. So in olden days they did not have watches, right? As we said many times. They did not have clock. I mean sundial clock, yeah, that's a little different, but otherwise they did not have. So how do they measure? How long does it take you to walk such a distance? As we said yesterday, right? In our class of Hilchos about health, we started the 4th chapter. I mean, we did not start. We were in introduction, but one thing that we mentioned is change in our generation. So people walk much less. So in those days, to walk 72 minutes, it's nothing. I mean, it's pretty fast, right? In 72 minutes, right, for meal, pretty fast. Okay. From Alos, so again, the Gemara Pesachim writes that average person, so average, not the fastest, right? The average person walks 4 meal from Alos Hashachar until the later occurrence of sunrise. According to some authorities, the time it takes to walk a meal at 18 minutes. Let me see why. Okay, so he gives a list. I skip. I mean that's what the most common acceptable opinion that we rely upon is 18 minutes. And then just to remind us, we also said how much a person should go. For example, if you need to eat bread, right, and you need to wash your hands, so and you don't have water, so we said that it's 4 meals, like going straight, like if you continue on your journey, and 1 meal to the left, to the right, and behind you, right, in order to get water, right? So if you cannot, there is no water. If you know, like you're somewhere in the desert or something, there is no water. 18 minutes this way, 18 minutes that way. So yeah, you just can find another solution. But otherwise, you're obligated. So that's how we use this in practical halacha. Thus, in their view, Alos occurs 72 minutes before sunset. So I said an hour, yeah, plus minus 72 minutes. Okay, but 72 minutes, this I think it's seasonal minutes. Okay, others calculate that the time that it takes to weigh a meal is 22.5 minutes. Right. Accordingly, Alos Hashachar 90 minutes before sunrise. Okay. So basically, what they're trying to say, the way I understand, so it is hard to see like this light spread on eastern horizon, but everybody understands the sunrise, right? It's because it's clear. So they try to calculate backwards from the sunrise until the Alos Hashachar. So Alos Hashachar is a dawn. Okay. However, there is another variable to be considered when calculating the time for Alos Hashachar. According to some authorities, the above numbers in minutes of minutes before sunrise, 72 or 90, apply to all latitude and all times of the year. Others, however, maintain that these numbers apply only to Eretz Israel on the equinox day. Wow, that's not simple. So let's try to understand. Thus, the time of Alos Hashachar will vary on at other latitude and seasons, and that's how I also. That's what I said a few times before. That's how I also understand. So this opinion, right? It depends on the latitude, meaning where are you in the globe, and plus plus the season. So again, let's read this paragraph again, and we see the commentary quickly. However, there is another variable to be considered when the latitude, when they calculate the time of Alos Hashachar. So meaning we're trying to going backwards, right? According to some authorities, the above numbers in minutes before the sunrise, meaning we know the sunrise, we're trying to see two opinions, 72 or 90 minutes, apply in all latitudes and all times of the year. So I mean, for me, it does not make sense, but Rav Henkin, he was the biggest in America before Rav Moshe Feinstein. Glosses to Rav Henkin Ezra's Torah calendar. Okay, no problem. Others, however, maintain that these numbers apply only in Eretz Israel on the equinox day. So others say it's not true. It's only on one specific day of the year, equinox. Thus, the time of Alos Hashachar will vary at all other latitude and seasons. So that makes sense to me for sure. Right. So let's see commentary. According to these authorities, to calculate Alos Hashachar for the other for the other latitudes and seasons, we must first determine the angle of the sun measured in degrees, and that's what we have in our application, right? Several angles, several degrees, right? At the time of Alos Hashachar in Eretz Israel, on a spring or fall equinox, or any other location that has a latitude coordinates with of Eretz Israel. These numbers of the degree will become the true measure of the Alos Hashachar and can be applied to the other latitudes and seasonal hours. Okay. When the calculations are made, it emerges that 72 minutes before the sunrise, the position of, here we go, okay, the sun, before the sunrise, sun's position 16.1 degrees beneath the horizon. 90 minutes before the sunrise, the sun's position 19.8 degrees beneath the horizon. These numbers are used by these authorities to calculate when Alos Hashachar occurs in any location in any given day. So I mean, it's serious math and astronomy. There is another opinion that which fixes the Halachic times of of Alos as when the sun's position is 18 degrees below horizon. So it's standard. So we have the three opinions, right? 16.1, 18, and 19.8. Okay. Okay. This opinion is based on scientific observation of when the first light of dawn appears, following the first opinion cited in Mishnah Brura. Text above. Continue. So we're switching topics. So next one, Mishyakir. Mishyakir, when one can recognize, right? What is? I think it's in a Shema. Is it early Shema? I think the early Shema, right? Oh no, okay. Yeah, it's Shema also. A Halachic application: the earliest time to don in talis, Kitzur 9:1, tefillin, and reciting Shema. Exactly. So all three, talis, tefillin, and Shema. So it's very interesting. So it's first time in a season, meaning season for a very long time ago, that we actually had to wait. By me, what time was it? I think it was 5:56 or something, right? But plus minus. So like 3 of us or 4 of us came early before that time to shul, so we had to wait. So I came the last of these 3 guys, after these 3 guys, and I saw them. They did not put the talis tefillin, and of course I got what's going on. I checked my calendar and say, yeah, it's another 2 minutes. Very interesting. Right, so again, this Hashachar is when we can don talis, tefillin, and say Shema, the early Shema. So it's after. We're going to see. Of course, it is between the sunrise and this Alos Hashachar time. In Hilchas Tzitzis, this time is described as when the light enough to differentiate between white and techeles string of the tzitzis. Kitzur 9:1, okay. So meaning that when it's a little light, but it's not light enough, so you can see things, but you cannot see things clearly. So, but in olden days when we have this techeles, right, a blue string. So if you can see, look at these tzitzis and you can tell which is techeles and which is white, so then that's the time. Right. I think it's also when if you can recognize a person that you know, right, from 4 amos away. Okay, so it's not like close to you, but you're familiar with him somewhat. In the Hilchas Tefillin, it is described as when the light enough. Right, all right, exactly what you said. I recognize acquaintance at the distance of 4 amos. But acquaintance, the way if I remember correctly, it's not like somebody from your family, but a person that you do know, but you're not so close, and not very close, meaning that you did not guess. That's what I'm trying to say. For this description refers the same as the time of the day. Okay, same Mishnah Brura 58:2. Continue. The time of Mishyakar will vary according to the location and the time of the year. Right. So all of these variables. Right? Various estimates have been given for different locales. Some as much as 60 minutes before the sunrise in Eretz Israel. 60 minutes before the sunrise. Okay. Some as little 35 to 40 minutes in New York area. So meaning it's 35 to 40 minutes before the sunrise. Very interesting. Many Zemanim calendars note that the time, this time, by degrees of the sun beneath the horizon. So meaning again, if you look at our so if you look at our calendar, so you'll see all the different degrees. Chaneitz Chachana. Chachaman, right? So Chachama is a sunrise, right? So Halachic application. So meaning what we can do at sunrise. The mitzvahs whose time is of fulfillment is during the day should be performed only after the sunrise. So even even before the sunrise, it's you can see, but if mitzvah whose time fulfillment is during the day should be performed only after sunrise. So it's as it is already light, but you must do it only during the day. So you do after sunrise. Okay. The optimal time for this recitation of Shmona Esrei is with the sunrise. See Kitzur 18:1, and that's what we call this minyan of Vasikin. So Vasikin minyan, so meaning the zealous ones, right? That every day these are unbelievable people, such a dedicated people. So every day they would get up at different times. Right, in winter much later, but in the summer much earlier. I think even on Shabbos they do this, but even though at Shabbos it says that you have to sleep a little more, but I think they continue even on Shabbos. So very special, dedicated people, right? So they calculate their prayers to the point that they know exactly. Of course, we have calendars. What time is the sunrise? So they would do everything, all the blessings, every Shema, right, Psuki de Zimra, everything up to this point. So they start at this praying Shmones exactly at the sunrise, second to second. It's not like minute plus minus. No, exactly. So I prayed with this minyan like several times in the past. It was in a kollel. They have a kollel, right? Very big kollel, very big. I'm not sure like how many people. Of course, not all of the people were there, but it's very impressive. Okay. Just 1 second. So continue. Time, right? So when this Netz Chachama. Just 1 second. So only after sun. So it says sunrise. So Netz Chachama, it's Chanetz Chachama. Okay. Time. Chanetz Chachama, commonly known as simply Netz. Right? So, that's what we call Netz. Okay. Is generally understood as referred to the beginning of appearance of the orb of the sun above horizon. Some say, however, that it refers to the sometime before the orb of the sun rises above the horizon. Sirema 55:8, Mishnah Berurah 58:7. So, and actually, you see the sun even before, like you see the light on the horizon. So it's very bright. You don't see the sun yet, but I'm not sure what is the difference in time. I mean, in my mind, it's only several minutes, but still there is some difference. Okay. So, okay. So, number 5. Sof Zman Kriya Shema. Sof. Latest time to recite Shema. Sof is like Safit, right? It's a non-Safit, final non. So, Sof, final. Okay. The Halachic, so as we said, at 3 hours of the day. Halachic application. The morning Shema must be recited by this time, meaning by Zman Kriya Shema. 3 seasonal hours from the beginning of the day, or to the point that a quarter of the day has passed. So, meaning a person who works, I don't know, like second shift or something, right? And he comes early, like I don't know, maybe 3 p.m., like 5 p.m. or something. So must be very careful to see is it worth it for him to go sleep right now, right? And miss Shema, or maybe to wait a few hours and then pray and then go to sleep, right? So it's not so simple, right? Because these 3 season hours, it's not a lot. But if you miss it, you missed it. Okay. And it's biblical. So again, 3 seasonal hours from the beginning of the day, or at the point that the quarter of the day has passed. Okay. Continue. Number 6. Sof Zman Tfilah. Latest time for Shacharis. Right. Halachic application. One must pray Shacharis by this time. Okay, meaning Sof Zman Tfilah. So okay, just to remind us. not sure if he's going to say or not. So there is still opinion that you can pray until noon. For sure, women can rely on that opinion, right? But for men, we try not to. But in a case of the need, of course, there are some exceptions. But some things you would not be allowed to say. But you can, like in case of the great need, you can pray Shacharis until noon. Halachic noon, of course. So again, Sof Zman Tfilah. One must pray Shacharis by this time. What is this time? 4 seasonal hours from the beginning of the day, or at the point that the third of the day has passed. Okay, so 7. Okay, so meaning so check in your application all of these times, because it's very important, especially when you pray with a minyan and there is a gabbai and there is a second gabbai in place where I pray. There is several gabbais and one big specialist who would tell gabbai what to do, because he's very precise. These guys, so you can basically these guys are like checking each other. Like they're very very responsible, right? So you can rely. But if you're praying alone or something, you have to be very very careful. So for example, this as I said a few days ago when I came to the shul, and I would not check. So I got used to just come to shul whenever I come, a little early, and start putting tefillin. But it was not time yet. It was 2 minutes before that time. Interesting. Okay, so continue. So that's what Chatzos Hayom. So Chatzos Hayom is the midday. Halachic application, final time for praying Shachar is for one who did not pray earlier. So meaning again, it's Kitzur 18:1, so it's after the fact. We're allowed to pray until the midday time. 6 hours from the beginning of the day. This is commonly calculated half between the sunrise and sunset. Right. Okay. So half the day. Next one. Mincha Gidola, right? And when we learn about Mincha, it's one of the last seifim where you actually cover it. So greater Mincha, Halachic application. Although this is before the ideal time of Mincha, one may pray Mincha beginning from this time in cases of need. See Kitzur 69:2 and Mishnah Brera 233, right? So what is the first Mincha? It's half an hour after the midday, right? It's half an hour of the midday, 6.5 hours after the beginning of the day, right? So that's the first time is Mincha. Okay, so they say Shar Tziyum with 30 minutes. It's regulatory minutes of half of the seasonal hour. I think it's half of the seasonal hour, the way I understand, right? So we need to know, and as what I was explaining, like in a place where I used to work in this mincha, so they try to do it very precise. So they would check the whole calendar and see like what is the latest, what is the earliest mincha, what is the latest mincha, right, of the year, and based on that, in the summer we did 1:40 p.m. and in like not in the summer we did 12:40. So very 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 simple, right? Of course it depends on your location, so you can calculate on the earliest mincha. It's not the most preferable, but it's if you pray there is no problem, you get the mitzvah. Continue. 9. Mincha ketana, smaller mincha application. Halachic application. Ideally, one should not pray mincha prior this time. So again, if you have opportunity, what? So mincha is it's 3.5 seasonal hours after the midday. So midday, it's basically it's 9.5 hours from the beginning of the day, or 3.5 after the midday. So that's the perfect time, the most preferable time to pray mincha. Right. I just want to say, if you have a choice to pray with a minyan in the early time or to pray by yourself in this time, so you pray with a minyan. There is no question about it. Okay. So next one is number 10, Plaga Mincha, the half Mincha. So meaning it's between, so it's, where is it? It's 9.5, so right, 9.5 hours. So it's, and it cuts this time in half until the nightfall, I guess. The Halachic application, the Gemara Brachas 27a cites disagreement whether one may pray Mincha from the time of Mincha Ketana, so it's these 3.5 hours, until the nightfall, or whether the time of Mariv begins a Plaga Mincha. The Gemara rules that each person should follow their opinion. And we're going to see, okay, discussion further. So, and actually, just so we know, in case of the need, we can do the Plaga Mincha. And that's the time of Plaga Mincha that we rely on when we can, the earliest when we can accept Shabbos, right? So the earliest time for accepting Shabbos is Plaga Mincha. And in the summer, people usually try to pray early. Why? Because you want to finish early. Have kids, like they cannot stay till 10 p.m. or so. Like, and even for us, like even for elderly people, they cannot. It's too much, right? They usually go to bed like 9:30 p.m. and now like at 9:30 want to start big meal. Nobody wants to do that. Right? It's too much, right? That's why in many communities we start Shabbos earlier. What was the earliest time? Is an hour and 15 minutes before the sunset. Okay. So one second. Okay. So Gemara says everybody should rule according to follow their opinion. A time 10 3/4 seasonal hours, 3/4, right? So you said 1.25 after the beginning of the day, or 1.25 seasonal hours before end of the day. So whatever end of the day is, meaning it's according to one opinion is it's a nightfall, but according to another opinion is actually the sunset, right? So since it is biblical, so we cannot. Since it is biblical, we have to go stringently, and we should consider that there is a strong possibility that sunset is actually starting of the Shabbos. I mean, it's been Hashemashos, some leniencies, maybe yes, maybe no, in case of the need. All of these exceptions, as we learn in Kitzur, we also learned those exceptions in practical application for women, right? Practical halacha. But we try, since it is biblical, so we say that Shabbos starts with we try to not to do melacha after the sunset. Okay. So again, the Plaga Mincha 1.25 before the day end, and that's the first time you can accept Shabbos. Number 11, Shkia. So Shkia, they say, what time is Shkia? What time is Shkia? Baruch Hashem, in the place where I go, they don't ask, because I mean, Baruch Hashem, people come, people have from local businesses come, other people, we have nursing home right across the street, some doctors come, some teachers from yeshiva come, I know, some people come, Baruch Hashem. So it says Halachic application, Shkia. According to some authorities, Mincha may no longer be recited after sunset. See Bir Hagra or Chaim 261.2. So meaning Vilna Gaon said that the day is from sunrise until sunset. So meaning what? After sunset, it is another day. So you understand. So he was very much against praying the mincha after the sunset. So some other people do, but We should know. So that's why I said if you have a choice, if you have a choice, if you have not easy choice to wait until maybe you get the number 10. I mean, maybe somebody call, I got stuck in traffic, please wait for me, this and that. And anyway, you have only 9 people. So that would proper for you to pray alone, right? In accordance with this opinion. Other authorities hold that Mincha may be recited sometime after the sun sets. Okay, see below and see Mishnah Brura. Okay, time when the sun is no longer visible above horizon. So that's the sunset. Okay, so it's still light outside, but okay, so let's see.